Alright guys, welcome back. So let's have a look at MicroStrategy. So if you're new to the channel, we have been talking about this one for quite some time already. And we're not going to be talking about what we have already covered. So yesterday we were talking about them adding some Bitcoins, and we can take a look at that filing. Volume drying up, IV crush, 35% decline, all these things. You can go check on the channel, right? But let's go back to the price. It's been 2 hours since market opened, and it is at 393. So gapped up around 10% or so. And I was talking about this level as well. So if I zoom out a little bit more, 450, that was the resistance, almost touched that. And 411 yesterday, I was watching that as a resistance as well. It couldn't gap back above it yesterday, but of course after BTC gapping up during Asian hours, and BTC is not pulling back much, but it is up above 100k for the first time, maybe trading above that 100k. And we talked about Bitcoin as well. So I was talking about its average true range yesterday, which is $4,400, and I was expecting slightly more than one standard deviation move if breakout happens. So pretty much we moved 5k, maybe a little bit outside, 20% above its average true range. So looks like the outstanding shares so far year to date, so 168 million outstanding shares was in the beginning of the year. So far 224. That's your dilution. And again, this is not your typical one where the companies dilute and spend that money to cover the bills. In MicroStrategy's case, yeah, they're parking the money into the BTC, right? They have bought it and it's liquid. It is sitting there. The value of their coins at the moment, $41 billion, 402,000. They own almost 1.9% of total BTC Bitcoin, existence, right? That will ever exist from assuming 21 million will be the top. We haven't mined that much yet, in general, but 1.9 million, 1.9% of that. So the filing yesterday, we can just quickly go through this one as well if you want, but if not, you can just go take a look at SEC and just read through it. It's basically they're saying that they spent 1.8 billion between November 25 and December 1st, and they accumulated Bitcoins at the average price of 95,975, and we were pretty much spot on with that one yesterday as well, because who else is buying it at these levels, right? So BTC had this dip at these levels after, you can see, 25th of November, 26th of November, 27th, and 29th. So when it had this 10% pullback, it pushed right back to 100k. And pretty much, yes, volume of the BTC on a daily, 10,000 or so, 12,000. And if they bought 15,000, I was guessing that all these 3 days of a move, it was purely MicroStrategy buying. And I was pretty spot on that one too. So who else is pushing this thing? So it's only them. So they're pushing the BTC underlying by being the bidder, and then trying to push the asset itself. I don't know if they're trying, of course, they want the MSTR stock to be up here as long as possible so they can keep issuing the shares at a higher price and also diluting less and then accumulating more. But that's enough with this one. Let's take a look at the price levels for MSTR. Of course, there's also 2x MSTR if you are day trading or something like that. There's MSTU, which is 2x long ETF for MSTR. So yesterday I was watching 20-day moving average as a possible area of support. If you take a look at this chart, this is the this blue line on my chart represents, this is a daily chart, represents 20-day moving average, acted as a support. I was watching that level as a support, and above 5-day moving average, ultra short term, this gray line right here, you can see it was downtrending. Anytime it downtrends, I mean, I'm bearish to neutral when any large cap, you see 5-day moving average downtrending, which means momentum is to the downside. So far that level on the chart is 388. So if we do slip below, we can definitely test 370. 370 would be the 20-day moving average for the stock, and below that level, you gotta be very, very cautious with this one, because there's a little bit of a disconnect, and it happened way early after this peak that I mean, it was not pretty much tracking BTC one-to-one, right? It wasn't moving as much as people were anticipating, and today, of course, pretty large move, because BTC moved 10% or so in a matter of one trading session. So that's why you saw this pretty big move, partially a lot of squeeze as well, because we know shorts are there. But one thing also standing out is the volume, okay? Volume is gone, okay? You're not seeing this name trade with high volume as it was previously. When stock breaks out to new all-time highs, nobody knows how high it can go. Volume was increasing, people were getting squeezed, and a lot of speculative money was coming in. But volume has declined in the last 5-6 trading sessions, and today so far it has 25 million volume. So average to range $44, that's the range of the stock any given day so far in the last 2 weeks. And today we still have a lot of time, but if volume even closes around 35 million or so, it is still will be killing a lot of premium, because implied volatility goes down when you see a stock basically do this, goes up and down, versus if it just keeps going up and up. I can give you one example, maybe SoundHound, that was pushing pretty crazy today. You can see when stock is just doesn't take a rest and it keeps just pushing higher and higher, implied volatility goes insane. You can see 200 for this week, 270, 200 next week, 175. Same thing with MicroStrategy, right? So there's no smooth uptrend. It's just moving up and down, which is killing a lot of premium. If you're trading premium both ways, doesn't matter if you're a naked buyer, you have to be careful. You have to be nimble if you're trading. Of course, it is presenting pretty good opportunity to basically day trade it in and out, because it is pretty smooth when it goes up, and it's pretty smooth when it comes down as well. But when it chops, of course, you got to be careful, like when it was right here, where it was killing a lot of premium. And we pointed this out as well, where volume is gone, IV crush, exactly what happened. But right here, right now, your resistance now, yesterday's 410, today's 450. Well, you can say that we filled the gap from yesterday fully, but it can definitely spend in this range for quite some time. But BTC, what BTC is going to do, nobody knows. I mean, BTC purely driven by liquidity, okay? Liquidity and purely emotionally driven asset. There's no way to analyze what BTC is going to do. Of course, if you think that there's going to be crazy inflation, you can assume that people are going to be buy BTC instead of gold or together. But the idea is it's being as an inflation hedge, and also blockchain. But I don't want to make this video too long, but this is the update for MSTR. Those are the levels I'm watching. In my opinion, MSTR can just go back to the range bound, and of course it is a little bit volatile right now, but a lot of people started monetizing their calls that were very short dated yesterday. And that's why a lot of times when you see this sort of a waterfall down move, is basically anybody who was betting ultra short term to the upside with options. As soon as they monetize, market maker just sells the shares that they bought as a hedge. And that's why you see these sorts of moves, because it is very options driven stock. A lot of people trading options, speculating with options. A lot of people like me and you and big money. And that's the update. So see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.